Okay, everybody, welcome to you in our presentation about CMRP introduction from Engineer Academy. I am Dr. Mu'taz Abdussalam, your presenter for today. And actually, I hope we have a very nice time together for this time. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Mu'taz Abdussalam. Actually, I am certified CMRP. Of course, I have doctorate in business administration and project management, certified instructor from Mobius Institute in vibration analysis, infrathermography, and asset reliability. I have more than 25 years experience in the field of asset integrity, reliability, condition monitoring, improvement, and consulting in many companies before. And also, I have a wide experience in local companies and international companies, including GE, including solar turbine, Ma'adin in Saudi Arabia, and of course, training, technical training, consulting for more than 20 years. So I believe that we have a lot to share together because training is something interacting. I'm not doing this training from one side, but from both sides, from my side and your side. So we exchange our experience. Okay. Today, we're going to talk about CMRP certification. And actually, this certificate is very important for anyone working in reliability and maintenance field. Why? Because certificate, normally, when we talk about any kind of certificate, it actually represents that testifying that this person know this kind of knowledge or this amount of knowledge. Okay? So, then for CMRP, actually, we're gonna manage five pillars. Each pillar of this is concerned with a very important topics in industry. But first, before we go deeper in CMRP pillars, we need to understand actually why or what the importance of this CMRP certificate and where this CMRP is certified from. It's actually certified from SMRP. It's a Society for Maintenance Reliability Professionals. So once you being certified as CMRP, it means that you have testifying from international organization that you know that enough information to be maintenance and reliability professional in your field. Okay. Then this actually the only certificate from its kind is certified from ANAP. What ANAP? It's ANSI National Accreditation Board, which complying with the ISO standard 17024. That's why this certificate is very important, especially if we know that the people are certified from this kind of certificate. They are not much as you think. Yeah, I know a lot of people talk about CMRP, but not too much people is certified CMRP. That's why it's important to be certified from this kind of certificate. Any kind of certificate has some eligibility that when you become eligible to get this certificate. But the good thing in CMRP certificate that the eligibility of CMRP, you can get it whatever the background, whatever your background, whether you are technical or not, but you capable to get this information and this much of knowledge and pass. Once you pass the CMRP exam, you will be certified as CMRP. So it doesn't matter your background, your education, as long as you can manage and handle the topics in this certificate body of knowledge. Because each certificate has what we call body of knowledge, which means number of knowledge, or not number, amount of knowledge you can get to pass this exam. Okay. Here we can see that the exam fees is it's actually SMRP. I mean, if you want to pass the exam, you need first to make a membership, and then the exam fees. Both together making 470. These are the official price for membership and exam. But from time to time, we can get some discount codes from time to time. Okay, the SMRP organization itself release some discount codes. And of course, as long as we get these discount codes, we share directly with you, whether on our WhatsApp group or social media or LinkedIn or whatever the social media pages. Okay. So right now, we need to start to understand that okay. Now we're going to talk about the CMRP pillars and what exactly mean those pillars and what we need to know from those pillars and why. These are important questions. First, we need to know that CMRP has five pillars. First one, talk about business management. Second, about manufacturing process reliability. Third, equipment reliability. Fourth, organizational leadership. And the final one is work management. First, to talk about business management, then we need to understand what this business for and what the concept, what the perspective of this business, and to be aligned with the business perspective and vision. And the second one talk about the manufacturing process, the process of the manufacturing, how to minimize and optimize this process with minimum losses and maximizing the profit. Because this actually the main target of any business to make profit. As long as you can making profit, reducing your costs, production costs, then in this case and only in this case you can make profit and the business will survive. Otherwise, the business will stop and lose. And to make this done, we need to make sure about the equipment reliability. We need to run the equipment in higher reliable condition and high reliability as much as we can. And actually, we can do a lot in equipment reliability. We can use different techniques in order to guarantee this kind of reliability. And if we couldn't detect the early failure of equipment, at least we can detect the symptoms indicating about equipment failure. And the fourth one, talking about organization and leadership, how to manage all of them from points of people and the skills, the competences of the people, how to lead them, how to organize them in a proper way to get the most maximum benefits from the people. And the final pillar about work management. In this work management, we talk about how we manage all this kind of work together to make very useful harmony between all of these parameters, all of these items together. The same for what? For achieving the maximum profit, the maximum benefit for the business to survive the business. Then CMRP is not only about maintenance or reliability. It's about to manage and make connection between what? Between business, process itself, the assets, people, and finally the work, and manage all this work together to achieve what? To achieve reliable operation. As long as I have a reliable operation, then I will minimize my losses, maximize my profit, and of course, making a lot of profit and make this business success. Talking about pillar number one. Pillar number one mainly talk about business and management. And once we talk about business, then we need to understand what the business model of this business. Like if I'm working in oil and gas company, then we need to have better understanding what make this oil and gas plant making profits and what make it lose, to prevent the lose items and of course maximizing the profit items. Then our maintenance and reliability is not cost center, it's a profit center. This what we need to do. We need to make the maintenance and reliability is profit center instead of cost center. Then in this pillar, the main question we need to answer is how can maintenance and reliability contribute to achieve the business results actually? It's like making a very useful connection between maintenance reliability activities to organization business objectives. Then we need to have a very clear vision about the business objective to align with our maintenance and reliability activities. Okay. These are main topics we're going to cover in the pillar number 1, starting with strategic direction and planning, maintenance reliability goals, strategic plan. And once we talk about strategic, the word strategic means plan, but for longer time, KPI and performance measurement is a very important tool to measure your current position, whether you are improving or reducing the performance. Then you can know exactly where is your current location, where is your current position, what the improvement points you need to working on to achieve the continuous improvement. Stakeholders communication, change management is very important because every time you need to make change, you have to manage this change in order not reflecting on the business with a negative impact, but always try to make these changes with positive impact. And of course, resource requirement for these changes and this business and management. And of course, management support is very important to achieve your goals or your strategy. Okay. So, for example, if we have a management, okay, the management asks, why should we spend 100,000 improving reliability? The reliability professional shouldn't simply answer because the equipment is unreliable. This couldn't be a very straight answer like this. But what we need to do, they need to demonstrate from business perspective. Management only talk with money. So you need to talk the same language, money language. Okay. Then they need to demonstrate the business impact. This exactly what CMRP explain, the business impact. And you need to know this information. So once you make any kind of improvement, you need to study this improvement, this change, and its impact on the business and the profits you can get from this change. Okay. So you need to think like a manager. What that mean? The maintenance needs, the production want to increase production by 10%. Then what we have to do? We have to determine the requirement equipment availability, the reliability targets. We need to state our reliability targets, okay, and the maintenance strategy and the resources for this, and what KPI can monitoring this performance. This is exactly what the meaning of CMRP mindset. Then CMRP make your mind start think in a different way. It's like mind changer. It's mind changer. You change your way of thinking, but you think in a different way, in a very positive way. Then the positive objectives should be connecting with maintenance and reliability decisions. And finally, the result should be complying and align with business results. Okay. Then in pillar number 1, what we have to know after we completing the pillar number 1, we have to understand what the meaning of business goals, and according to these business goals, we have to make the reliability goals, and according to these two goals, we design our maintenance strategy. And to monitor this progress, we have to have proper KPI to monitor this strategy and complying or the complying with goals, with reliability goals and the business goals. And finally, the result is as a business result, of course, it should be as a positive result. Coming to pillar number 2. For pillar number 2, we are talking about manufacturing process reliability. In this pillar, we study the manufacturing steps, okay, what the process, and actually visualizing this process in a different way, so we can detect exactly where the bottlenecks, where the improvement points, and how we keep improving the manufacturing, reducing losses, applying Six Sigma perspective, Six Sigma theory, and of course try to reducing the defects, and of course by reducing defects, increasing the profit, because we don't lose a lot of product, or we don't produce defective products. Okay, then it's all about understanding the production process and ensuring that maintenance reliability activities improve process performance. So it's all about performance, but from maintenance reliability perspective. Then the key message coming from this pillar: don't maintain equipment in isolation. Understand the process that the equipment support. What that mean? That means don't consider the equipment as a separate unit. As a separate unit. Actually, equipment is one of the series. One of the series. So you need to consider, when you're looking for this equipment for maintenance, you need to consider what before and after this equipment. What this equipment affecting, whether it's before upstream or downstream this equipment. So we need to consider many things. Don't think localized, but think more global. This exactly what the pillar number 2 talk about, and what we gonna learn from this pillar number 2. And the main topics of this pillar, as you can see here, also the process flow, that you draw the steps of the process one by one, stating all the process, all the parameters, including each step. And as I told you, we monitor and mention the bottlenecks, the points for improvement, okay, all the parameters related to the process, the production requirement, whether you need raw materials, you need anything need to be stated as a requirement. And of course, the quality requirement, because we couldn't produce any product without high quality. We can't accept it. Otherwise, we're gonna lose, because we producing the defective part. This will affecting on quality. And process improvement, one of the important things we can achieve by understanding the concept of this pillar. The production losses, we need to reduce it, and of course, continuous improvement is our target. Once you keep continuous improvement, then you guarantee that your manufacturing is keep improved by time, and your losses is reducing. Management change is the key success once you do any kind of change in order to get the positive impact on the production process. Okay. Procedure and documentation is very important, that you need to state all the steps, and document it as a reporting for reference. Okay. And of course, the regulatory requirements, if there are any related regular requirements, process compliance. Then think as a process. Don't think as a separate equipment. We not considering the equipment as separate unit, but we take the equipment as part of the group which producing certain product or making the manufacturing process. Okay, like in case if I have this example, like compressor trip repeatedly, it's repeated trip. What I have to do? Actually, in the case of repeated trip from this compressor, the regular guy will say, why is the compressor failing? That's a question. But from process reliability approach is also ask different questions, like what the process does the compressor support? Okay, what are the operation parameters? What production loss occurs if this compressor trips what the losses we can get. Because, we need to determine the criticality of this equipment. We need to determine the consequence of this equipment failure. And according to this and according to the equipment criticality, we start to state steps, we start to state or assign different technology in order to reducing these failure rates. Okay. Is the equipment operating within its intended limit? Because each equipment has certain limits. You can't operate the equipment above its limit, or overload it, or even underload it. Like, for example, if we talk about pump. For pump, of course, we have operating range from pressure and flow. If you operate this pump below or after or above this range, the pump will not performing, but it will experience high vibration, high temperature, a lot of troubles, and actually you will accelerate its failure. Then we need to make sure that we operate this equipment within its intended range. Have process condition changed? Because changing condition will affect or will get impact on the pump performance. What the impact on the production and quality? All these questions will be asked once you think as a reliable or as a process reliable instead of a regular approach or a traditional approach. Those questions is managed in the pillar number 2. Then, as I told you, CMRP is not about getting certificate, but it's getting mind change. You change your mind. You change how you think about the process, about maintenance and reliability. And by this way, you start to perform better, more efficient performance. Then the CMRP mindset will think like this: what the process of this equipment, what exactly this equipment doing, and what the failure and what the failure rate, failure mechanism, failure consequences, okay? The consequences of this failure, and of course, what I can do to improve this performance. Is this failure coming from the upstream equipment, downstream equipment, operating condition change, or any other affecting the performance? Then I need to make improvement. For pillar number 3, handling or manage the equipment reliability itself, the equipment itself. Different techniques can improve the equipment performance, okay? But once we talk about reliability, what the mean of reliability? Reliability is probability of keep equipment doing its intended function under certain operating condition for periodic time. Then all I need to know is the operating condition and try to keep this equipment running at the same or as it should be working, like a design condition, and of course prevent anything will affecting negatively on the equipment performance. And to do this in a proper way, in an effective way, I need to understand the condition monitoring techniques, different techniques, whether from vibration, ultrasound, infrared, NDT. All these kind of condition monitoring techniques should be applied and should be understood by the CMRP certified person. Why? To design or assign exactly the required techniques for detecting the failure in early stage. Why early stage? To reducing the maintenance cost, because finally we talk about what? About the business perspective, the business model. We need to reducing the maintenance cost in order to increasing the profits. Okay. Then this pillar is about ensuring the equipment achieve the required reliability, availability, and maintainability. The key message: the goal is not simply to maintain equipment. The goal is to make the equipment perform reliable. This the main message of this pillar. To make this done, to have this done, we need to consider the reliability, the risk coming due to this equipment failure, and the cost of this equipment repair, and of course monitor the performance, monitoring the performance. Okay, to have this done, we need to consider and understand many things, starting with the RCM, reliability centered maintenance concept, and we will explain this RCM. Preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, condition monitoring, failure modes, and failure analysis. What the difference between failure modes and failure analysis? Failure modes, what happened to this equipment, make this equipment considered as failed. Like if I have pump, this pump has a mechanical seal. This mechanical seal start leaking. Then I consider this pump failed. But from technically still working, like if you push the start button, it will rotate, it will run, but it's leaking. Then in this case, it's considered as a failed equipment because it's leaking. Okay, this kind of failure mode. The failure analysis, we need to analyze why this failure happened and what the consequence of this failure and what we have to do to prevent this failure from happening again. And finally, we're looking for reliability improvement, because if you did all of these steps, of course, the result will be reliability improvement. Pillar number 4, all these steps, all this perspective should be managed together. And how we manage, we need to leadership and of course the proper organization to manage all these kind of activities. Then for this pillar, we talk about the connection between people and the required skills for those people, the structure being the where is the boss and what the under this boss, what the levels of employees, okay, and the leadership methods, because different methods is has different impact actually. Then the key message of this pillar is you can't build a reliable organization without developing reliable people. People is organization asset, Then you need to invest in your people to improve your organization performance. Okay. So in this pillar, we will learn about build the right organization, develop the competences, the skills of the people. Okay, lead and manage the people, whether leader or manager, and what exactly we need in each position and how you manage those people. Try to get the best as much as you can from the people you are managing or leading, and build the effective team. Different techniques for building a proper team, and actually the steps of team forming, okay. And finally, also manage the change. You will see that almost in every pillar, we need to manage the change, but this change is different from one to one. Like here, we talk about change from people perspective and their resistance to change. But from machine, it's changing design, changing in operating condition. It's related to machine design. From business perspective, that you can make this change, but from business vision. Like you start to producing this product, but with different specs as their market needs, their different customer needs. We found another opportunity to open, then we produce different product. We add some modification to our production line to start to producing completely different products. So we penetrate new market and so on. Then every pillar or any steps, and at every step we have the ability to make change, but you need to manage this change. Okay, pillar 5, the last one, it's all about managing all this work together. Manage it like making the right work at right time with right resources. Then we have 3 things: work, time, and the required resources to make this work done. Okay, so the key message of this pillar is good maintenance execution starts with the good planning and scheduling. Then for pillar number 5, we have our plan. Of course, this plan is a result from our RCM. Our RCM. Then the result coming from RCM is maintenance plan. This maintenance plan needs resources. And to make these resources and the activities synchronize together, then we need to plan and schedule. Once we have this done, then we have plan and schedule. Then we start to execute this maintenance activity. Once you start execute it, to close this one, you need to document. This documentation, actually, there is pre-documentation, mean the documents required before the work starts and the documents required after the work finish. The documents required before, like permit, like method of statement, like any kind of supportive documents required before even you start your activity. But after you finish, you need to close these permits, you need to finalize the result, the measurements, everything should be documented and archived for history analysis and to get back whenever you need it. And finally, to start to analyze these results, and according to this analysis and the results coming from analysis, you make improvement. You start to making continuous improvement. Okay, like here for this workflow, starting with work execution, work documentation, and equipment history. Then to execute this work, you need to check for work documentation whether it's pre or after, and the equipment history. Does this equipment experience repeated failure or not? And failure code, because each type of failure has certain code. Post-maintenance documentation, this is the one we need to have before the work. And of course, check for the planned work versus to the actual analysis or the work already done. Is it matching with the planned work or not? Then the difference between them, there is some variation. This variance analysis to fulfill the gap between the planned work and the actual work done. Why this happened? Is it there's some delay, there's lack of resources, there's lack of competencies of the workers? All of this should be as an improvement point actually. This measured by the proper KPI, the work management KPI, and according to this KPI, we can detect and measure our improvement points, whether we improved or not, and where exactly we need this improvement. Okay, according to this, we make all the maintenance projects we need, and of course, check for inventory for spare parts, maintenance, and repair operation inventory, MRO inventory. Okay, because once you do any kind of maintenance activity, you need spare parts, and this spare part need management system to keep providing the required spare part on time and with the proper quantity, and quality. Okay, and of course this should be connected with the procurement department to purchase the required spare part on time. And of course we need to manage the contractor management, because we couldn't make all the work ourselves, but always we need third party. That's why we need to control the contractor to complying with our vision and our strategy. And finally, the maintenance technology CMMS system or enterprise asset management system to control all these items together. Okay. Then the pillar number 5 is actually make connection, the 5 pillars, they making connection between those 5 pillars together to get the final result of reliability assets, reliability process, and reliability business. Starting from pillar number 1 about business management, what do the business needs exactly? Number 2 about manufacturing, the process of producing the product. Okay, what does the process required? Third one, the equipment reliability. How do we make the asset reliable? Number 4, organization and leadership. Who will make it happen? The people who make this one happen need to be organized and managed in a proper way. And finally, we have the work management pillar, talk about how do we execute the work efficiently or effectively, okay, to get the final result from reliable asset, reliable process, reliable business. It's all about getting reliable points. Okay. Then what makes CMRP different? CMRP is not just the preparation for exam, as I told you. It's like making you think in a different way, Of course, exam is one of the targets, but don't make it only a target. You need to understand the concept. You need to change your mindset and then apply this one. Once you understand deeply those perspectives, then exam will be very easy for you. What our approach? What about our approach as Engineer Academy? First, we need to make sure that you understand the concept for each pillar and connect all these pillars together for as a perspectives. Okay. Number three, doing practice, like applying this knowledge through exam style questions. We have different exam styles like mock exams. Okay. Analyze if you have any weakness, you need to improve some, study more for certain pillars. Then we need to analyze your situation, understanding why an answer is correct and why the other options are not. Okay. And actually also here, we need to understand how the questions come in exam, what the tricks. We need to learn many ways to think how you answer the right answer in exam. And for simulating the exam using mock exam to build exam readiness. We have different models. You can exercise on these models to make sure that you can pass the exam very easy, inshallah. Okay. And finally, to improve, like identify weak area and focus your preparation. You need to detect exactly where is your weakness. And according to this detection, we can work together to improve your weak points, make sure that you pass the exam and have the proper knowledge. Okay. Then your CMRP journey from knowledge to certificate, starting from understanding the 5 pillars, build your knowledge, practice exam questions, and identify your weak area. Take mock exam, make sure that you get a good score for them, and improve your performance. Because for mock exam you can keep trying many times as you want. As you keep try solving this mock exam until you make sure that you are ready 100%. And finally, inshallah, you can get your CMRP certificate ready with passing the exam, inshallah. If you have any question, it's okay. Right now I can open. If you want to unmute to ask any question, it's open for you now. Okay. Anyone has any question?
What is the duration of this course?
This one will be 10 sessions. Each session 3 hours. Okay. This will be 2 times per week. 2 times per week. Afternoon session, starting from 7 to 10. From 7 to 10.
What about the training materials? All these
will be there
handed over.
Also, all resources, other resources like another books, body of knowledge for CMRP. All of this will be there because we will create account for you at Engineer Academy platform. And through this account, you will get access to all the session will be recorded and uploaded one by one. So you can get back to this recorded session whenever you need it. If you miss something, if you need to review, and of course the material also will be available. Also, a lot of books will be uploaded to your account. You can download if you want. So all these resources will be available for you.
Okay.
Okay. So any other question you have? Okay. I'm very happy to have you for today. And actually, this session will be also recorded and I will share soon with you. I will share on the group and the LinkedIn profile also. Okay. So I hope to see you soon, inshallah. And uh, wait, if you need any other question, you can contact at chat. Wait, I'll write here. Okay, the WhatsApp number. You can just click and contact if you want. Okay, I'll share. I'll share the recorded session. This recorded session with you once it finish. Okay. Thank you again. See you soon, inshallah. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.